People love Dutch ovens for different reasons. So some people love it for bread, others for stew. My favorite thing to do with the Dutch oven is just to cook a nice one pot meal. So something like this is so easy for a weeknight meal. All I did was use a pound of ground beef. That was the first thing that I did in here. And all I did was brown it. And this has such nice browning capabilities. Just let the ground beef sit for a few minutes on medium high heat and it's going to brown beautifully. Now, I'll admit it wasn't totally one pan because I did use a pan to roast this butternut squash here. And that took about 30 minutes. But basically, once that was done, I just let that sit. And then after the ground beef was done, I took that out. Now the ground beef leaves behind this wonderful, like, ground beef fat, and you cook your Brussels sprouts in it. And it provides the best flavor for the Brussels sprouts. So something like this pot is just so nice because it has a great size. Now this is a 7 quart. If you go with a smaller size, and for reference, I'm cooking for me and my husband, so just 2 people, and this is probably going to be enough for dinner and lunch tomorrow. So 1 pound of ground beef, a half of a large butternut squash, and like half of a package, I'd say maybe like a pound of Brussels sprouts. So there's a good amount that fits in here. If you go with a smaller Dutch oven, then it's going to, you're not going to be able to cook as thoroughly because there's not as much surface area, but you might be able to use a smaller Dutch oven for something like a nice bread still. So it just kind of depends, but a 7 quart is perfect for me and my husband. And I guess I kind of interrupted myself when I was talking about how to make this, but after the ground beef, you do the Brussels sprouts in here. And like, I was wondering whether I should do the Brussels sprouts in here or whether I should do them in the oven, like just roast them on a pan and then add everything back in here. I opted to go with the Dutch oven because I just like a little bit more moisture in my Brussels sprouts. I don't like them completely dried out like they get in the oven. And it just, like, being able to cook them in the fat from the beef and in here where they get a little bit of moisture, it's perfect. And then I just added my butternut squash in here, and it's such a beautiful mixture. So you get your greens, you get your ground beef, you get your butternut squash, and it's a really, really healthy meal, especially if you go with something like 100% grass-fed ground beef. I'm using the organic rancher that I got on Amazon, and then nice butternut squash. But anyway, now I'm just rambling, but I really like this pot for weeknight dinners like this. I make literally so many different things in here. I make stews, I make chicken curry in here. I just like in the 7 quart how much space and surface area you have on the bottom to like brown your meats and things like that. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful. And the lid, like when you close it, it just keeps that heat in there and it really retains that temperature. So, okay. Hope this video was helpful.